Hello! I've been working on a script for a much longer video with some themes similar to what you're about to hear in this video, and it goes into much greater detail about the history of my career on YouTube and my struggles as an artist, my thoughts about making art, etc. It's a video I've wanted to make for many years, but it's going to be a considerable undertaking given that the script is over 35 pages long, and I've honestly never made anything that long before. I swear, the story might even be juicy and exciting enough for a compelling watch from start to finish. I still plan to make that video, but in the meantime, I've been feeling extremely overwhelmed and hopeless lately, and I decided that I needed to make a video to be open with you all about what's been going on in my world if you weren't already aware. And this also gives me a chance to briefly revisit this sort of format before attempting a much larger version of it. I'm not going to coat this truth in sugar. I need your help. My published output has slowed down a lot over the past handful of years, especially compared to my golden era on YouTube. Somehow I've been doing this full time for over 11 years now, which is wild. Have I slowed down as an artist though? Not at all. I would argue that I've been somewhat rapidly creating the best songs of my life lately, and I'm always working on a bunch of different tracks at the same time. While my YouTube releases have gotten sparser, new Hot Dad tracks have been quietly piling up, and only getting better and better, IMHO. It's actually at the point where I struggle to relax or allow any time for myself that doesn't involve the pull of my work. It's unhealthy, and I've been trying to create better boundaries, but it is the dominant reality of my life at this point. For a couple years, I was able to maintain the momentum and just keep going, even as the view counts began to drop. But then they dropped even more, and I just couldn't ignore the reality any longer. My career wasn't going anywhere, and I seemingly couldn't attract any new viewers or patrons no matter what I tried. The situation made me not want to post videos on YouTube because paying an editor to make them was going to result in a direct loss of money, and there seemingly wasn't even an opportunity to go viral anymore given how effectively the algorithms ignore me. Knowing that I would only lose more money by making more videos, I did the only thing that made sense to me. I worked on new songs, because that doesn't cost anything other than my time, and it felt quite natural and comforting. In so many ways, it seemed like I was going nowhere, but in my pure little private artistic zone, I was going places, and I still feel that way now. It became nearly impossible to unsee the financial burden of releasing music videos for someone at my income level. Honestly, I wish I had never even thought about it in the first place, but I did, and I can't change that now. I feel guilty for not being able to pay more to the incredible video editors I've worked with, and that really wears me down and sometimes makes me not want to hurl new projects at my current editors, depending on my mood. I'm not a visual artist, so sadly I can't personally make the videos my songs deserve. And I don't have sponsors, and honestly, I don't even really think they're appropriate for something as short as a music video. So there's almost nothing to be directly made from any video I release. If I were financially secure, I would honestly be fine with that, but I'm 40 years old and so very far away from genuine financial stability, which for a person like me is unfortunately inextricably linked to view counts. It freaks me out a little bit to think about how much I'd have to spend in order to afford music videos for all the songs I want to release, especially compared to how much money is coming in each month. And I've tried lyric videos too, which haven't really worked either. The loss of my reach makes me feel like I've failed, even though I believe my work is stronger than ever, and the metrics I get from my core audience, other than total views, fully support this idea. The people who actually see what I'm making seem to love it, and I love it too. I'm always challenging myself to grow and improve through practice and learning, and I hope my work reflects that. I put in all these years to build this audience, and now I can't reach them. For someone like me with my gigantic emotions that make my work possible in the first place, it's a very difficult game to play. And I know I'm not alone in my struggles. I have a lot of empathy for anyone else in a similar boat. Occasionally I'll dip my toes into shorter content, hoping to pick up some people on platforms other than YouTube, but that hasn't been particularly lucrative either, and my defeat/unwillingness to relentlessly hustle out tepid content for clicks just causes me to take shelter in my eternal songwriting bunker. Like I really care about my work and what it is, and so that makes it hard to just do more stuff to see if it works. I'm fully aware that my erratic YouTube activity has likely led to the decline of my Patreon, but knowing that the solution to that problem is to release more videos, while also being hyper aware that I seemingly can't reach anyone new and I have to spend money I barely have in order to do that ineffective thing, well, it's simply led to fewer videos being released. It feels like gambling with truly horrific odds, and my brain isn't wired to be risk-seeking in that way when it comes to money. I also realized, and I talk about this in much greater detail in my longer script, that my unreleased work has infinite potential. It can be absolutely anything in my mind until it's actually released, and then I'm forced to deal with the disappointment of its performance. So in some sense, I've just been hiding to protect my emotions and self-worth, and I'm both sorry and not sorry for that. And it's not just music videos I've been avoiding. I've got a number of physical releases I've wanted to do for years, but those are especially hard because they force me to estimate how many copies I can actually sell, and that just makes my anxiety surge out of control given how much I currently struggle to reach my audience. I released a completed full album called Comedy to Patreon at the very end of last year, the best album I've ever made in my life, and I still haven't managed to release it publicly yet. I remastered Woman titles a couple years ago, and I missed the 10th anniversary this year for a cassette release. I've been remastering my TV tracks for a dual cassette release since 2020, which would have been another terrific 10th anniversary release this year. And while I made a huge amount of progress on that project a few months ago and it's almost done, there's no way that it's coming out by the end of this year. So I've just been putting my head down and working on new songs instead. It's classic avoidant behavior, and it's somewhat disappointing, but realistic, I think. I'm not a marketer, I'm an artist. I don't have a manager or agent, and I think that's cost me a lot over the years because I can only effectively wear a certain number of hats myself, and I'm often overwhelmed by my negative emotions, and I'm really bad at selling myself to others. Like, my scenario is specifically why most successful artists have a manager or agent in the first place. Why don't I just find a manager or agent? The advice is that you should always wait for a manager or agent to contact you so you know what they can do for you, not what you can do for them. Sadly, I never got big enough to attract anyone legitimate for that role, and so I just do the best I can with what I've got. And that sometimes leads to some weird career imbalances. If you are a manager or agent, or you know of a good one, please feel free to reach out. Thank you. These days, I have very little active confidence in my own abilities, even though I've had some wonderful success and I've done so many things I'm so proud of. It's classic, very exciting imposter syndrome. But there's something I'm genuinely confident about, and it's the fact that I'm an artist in the purest sense. What I make is entirely from my brain soul. It's not dictated by any kind of trend, and it's not created to be appealing to the widest possible audience. It's weird and strange and layered and convoluted sometimes. My work is created to impress me first and foremost, something I think is crucial for authenticity and long-term quality in any creative career. My golden era that I mentioned earlier, when growth was actually happening and videos were actually performing, it was all about me impressing myself. Fan favorites like Sometimes I Make Shit That Rocks, Bring Me All Your Teeth, Suckin' on My Tendies, Just Tell Me What Font to Pick, and I Love to Piss. Those songs only exist because their core hooks or in-jokes spontaneously arrived in my brain one day. They made me laugh, so I decided to build full songs around them. Even my most successful video, I really like this image, was only created because I was super into the original naked banana meme at the time. It just felt pure and nice and unusual and fun. There was no deliberate strategy, and I had no idea it would blow up like it did. When I look back at my output the last 7 or so years, I am proud of what I've made. In IMHO, I have maintained and even improved the quality of my work throughout my career of over 10 years. So it can feel quite soul-crushing when the very thing that helped you achieve a career in the first place simply stops working, and it's most likely due to mechanisms you have no control over. Again, I know this isn't unique to me, but it's just what I've experienced since late 2017, and it can truly wear down a sensitive little 40-year-old boy like me. Some people are chameleons and highly adaptable. They're willing to just create content that works. But I take whatever my mind gives me, as long as the quality is right, and I build until the job is done, even if the concept has no real obvious mass appeal. Honestly, I don't see the point otherwise, and I think that's why my work is special and why it resonates so hard with my core audience. I'm not here to be a content creator. I'm an artist, and I have to take risks within my work itself, or else it simply won't be good. If you've ever supported me directly, thank you so much. What I've done so far wouldn't have been possible without you. I am fully aware that it is a huge privilege to live this art life, even though it can be truly hard at times. And just because I make art doesn't mean I deserve to make a living from it. I acknowledge that I'm lucky, even during challenging moments like these, but the whole game is getting even worse for people like me. People who want to make truly earnest and vulnerable things and email them to the world. Personally, I find it boring to specifically just do what works for the algorithm. That's not why I started this career in the first place. And if that were my goal, well, let's just say I haven't really managed to figure out what works since I released I really like this image in 2017. If achieving success like that again were my goal, it would mean nothing but failure after failure ever since that wild peak, and that would be even less healthy for my tired brain. On top of all the existential stuff, I've been in Austin for almost 4 years now, and I'm leaving at the end of the year and moving to the Oklahoma City area because my partner got a job at OU. Congrats to her. She's a conservation biologist, and I'm so proud of all that she's accomplished, but she's been struggling to find a job in academia for 5 years now, so things just haven't been that great for a lot of people. It's going to be a hard transitional time for me because moving is tough, even without needing to deal with a home office. And getting my office and workspaces fully set back up is going to cost a fair amount of money since I'm likely going to need to build or rent a structure to use as a primary office. Dream Settler was canceled this year, and that's cut into my income quite a bit. And since I started writing this script, and I'm not kidding about this at all, I shockingly learned that my former CPA, who was replaced by a much more reliable CPA in 2022, didn't actually file my 2021 tax return, despite reassuring me over and over again for literally years that it was good to go, and now I owe thousands in back taxes and interest and penalties. I just have to say, life feels a little overwhelming right now. So if you're a being who exists and you're actually seeing this video and you do care about my work and you want me to keep making it, please consider supporting me on Patreon or YouTube memberships. I don't have as much flexibility with YouTube memberships when it comes to types of posts, so if you're looking for more variety, Patreon is the way to go. I've got merch and digital tracks available on Bandcamp, and all my songs are likely on whatever streaming platform you prefer. I've always tried to charge fair prices for my merch, and I give away 98% of my songs for free on Bandcamp. I'm also live on Twitch twice a week, every week, so if you would prefer to support me that way, that's an option as well. If you're struggling financially too, I'm sorry, and don't sweat any of this, please. Likes and shares and comments still help, and I've got a mailing list you can subscribe to for free, and also a Discord where you can hang out. I've tried to ensure I'm not paywalling anyone out for my work, and I'd like to keep things that way. All relevant links are in my link tree. I'm not looking for immense wealth, and I'm not some rich streamer who is pretending to struggle to get more donations. I've heard that it's somewhat hashtag trending to openly discuss your income, so I'm literally on track to make about 30K this year, down a full 10K from last year, which, yeah, it's honestly cool to make any money doing things you love to do, but it's not really that much money, especially not where I live. I just want to be comfortable enough to finish and release my work in peace, to not have to be too focused on all these ugly overlapping layers that can completely and utterly destroy self-confidence and forward momentum. I'm sick and tired of living in this headspace, and with therapy, I've been working to build better systems for myself. I'm ready to get some new stuff released because I'm honestly tired of sitting on it, and I'm making good progress figuring that all out. I also started doing stand-up this year, a thing I've been putting off for about 17 years. I do feel like I've been making progress on myself as a person, and doing those live shows has been genuinely good for me. I'm proud of me, in some ways at least. And I will say a huge shout out to Brutal Moose for asking me to contribute to his sponsored segments. That opportunity has truly saved my ass this year and made the videos that I have released possible. I genuinely love working with Ian, and we've got a long-form surreal sketch video that we'll hopefully start working on together soon, and I can't wait for you to see what we come up with. Sadly, the current internet places the most value on releasing things and moving on. It's a lot of slop, basically. Just do it, don't get too attached. If it works, do more. If it doesn't, move on to something else and forget about it. It's really hard for me to do creative work that I don't care about, though. It makes me feel gross, and what's the point? I actually want to put my whole self into my work and make it as good as it can possibly be. And that means it's not easy for me to just give up once I've released something, and it's immediately buried by the algorithms. And now even the successful human slop is having to compete with AI slop, so it's all getting messier. Yuck. The reality is, the kind of earnest work that I do, it's only going to get harder and harder to find. And in most cases, without your direct support, it's simply not going to exist anymore. For big companies, there's less of an incentive to make or fund it because risky stuff doesn't usually perform as well as the slop, and it often costs more to get it done. And if independent artists like me are getting nowhere and only losing money to get to nowhere, I can't say that's all that sustainable either. So yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, thanks so much. Thanks for being here and listening to my awesome whining, and I'm so grateful for your support. Y'all are simply the best. For now, stay tuned. I can't wait for you to see what I've been quietly cooking up behind the scenes. It's 2:51 p.m., so that means time for bed. Bye!